We're up to a tight spot is Nedarim Daf Samech Gimel. We're up to Samech Beis Amid Beis, and we're describing different Nedarim people make until what's the Zman of how do they go? Does it mean the beginning of something, the end of something? So if a person says At HaGeshamim or At Sheyu Geshamim, At Shetere Revia Shnia. It's until the second wind comes down. We're going to see exactly what that is. The second Revia. We said yesterday that it's divided up into 3 quarters, or 3/3, excuse me. And the second one, the middle one, when it rains in the middle one, that's what he means. And if Shimon says it doesn't have to rain, even if you get to that point, that will be enough. I'm not saying Machlokes been Tanakam who says it actually has to rain, and if Shimon says it doesn't have to rain, the Amar Agasham, it's only when he said Ad Hageshamim. Aval Amar Ad Hageshem. But you say Ad HaGeshem, not plural, but Ad HaGeshem, Ad Zman Geshem. Even the Chachamim would be Moida that it means up until. Let's see the Ran. Why? What's the difference by saying Geshamim or Ad HaGeshem? Says the Umachloikis Nam Ad HaGeshamim. Klaimar. Ki pligi Tanakam Deran. Ki pligi Tanakam Reb Shmuel. I boy Ad Shetered. Vi boy Geshegia. Daf Gedama Ad HaGeshamim. Nachloikis is whether we say the word Geshamim. Avaloma Ad HaGeshem, singular, Afilu Tanakama Moida, even the Tanakama with Moida, it doesn't have to rain, but it means Ad Zman up until the time of the Geshamim. It doesn't literally have to rain, it has to be up to the time of the Geshamim. And you'd only be usher your neder or wine, right, up until that time. Okay? Now what's the difference? Guys, what's the difference? Heard the Gemara. What's the difference? In other words, the Ram wants to know, guys, if you say Ad HaGeshamim, it has to rain. If you say Ad HaGeshem, it doesn't have to rain. What's the difference? In other words, the mashma is to a person. What's the lumdis behind it? The difference, what it means. So V'nira Be'enai, the Ran's going to tell you the difference. Why Ad HaGeshamim literally means it has to rain, and Ad HaGeshem means the zman of when it possibly could rain. Says the Gemara, the Hainu Taima, the Medina Achiagia Mashma. When you really Achiagia Mashma, when you say Ad HaGeshamim, it means really up until, it means, in other words, guys, it doesn't mean rain, it means to the time of when it could rain. Anything that doesn't have a set time. Klaimar. A person doesn't answer suffix. You said, guys, if a person says until a period of time, that's an exact period of time. So if he knows the time is over, he'll be nichnas to a suffix. But if it's too ambiguous, the time, he's not nichnas. So l'chayra geshamim is up until the time is now. Is it zman kavua when it could rain? Mistami, yeah. Continues the Ran. So a person says until Pesach, guys, right? Pesach is a set period of time. Pesach is a set period of time. So what does he mean? The most he can mean is what? Until the end of Pesach. At the beginning of Pesach, right? Geshamim, we say the same thing. So it says that when you say the word Geshamim, that no, Stam is like, it means Achiyagia. Hachanami kol shein las cholasa is man kavua. The beginning, you don't have a time. You don't know if it's going to rain. You assume that it possibly could rain, but you don't know if it's going to rain. So maybe it'll be delayed a long period of time. A person doesn't enter a suffix, and therefore it means abachiyagias. Okay, so guys, you're answering wine, fellas. Look at me. You're answering wine. You're giving, when you didn't say it's asla oilam, you're giving yourself a time period. Good. If it's too open-ended, we're going to say you don't enter that time period. We're going to say you mean up until that time period. So therefore, if it's a Zman Kavur like Pesach, then you know it could be up until the beginning. You have Machlokes, whether it mean the beginning of Pesach or the end of Pesach, because it's only a difference of 7 days. But you know it can't extend beyond those 7 days. Masha'en Kain, if it's open-ended, like rain, you don't rain. It could be you could have a tinus. It could be months that it doesn't rain. You're not going to go ahead and enter that shaila. So therefore, when you say Ad HaGeshamim, what do you mean? Ad Sheyagia. So now the Ram goes on to continue. Now you should have said Ad HaGeshem. Why do you say Geshamim? by saying the extra word geshamim, that means you're saying until it rains. When you could have said one thing and you said another thing, that makes it that, according to the Tanakama, that you mamish need rain. Because if you only meant ad shiyagia, you would say ad hageshem. And that's how Reb Zera knew ad hageshem meant, right, to the beginning of the time. And geshamim added on that you mamish need rain, according to the Tanakama. So Mamela is very geshmak. The machloikis between the Tanakama that you need rain and Reb Shimon Gamliel says, no, you don't need rain, you just need this man, is because he used the word geshamim. And you added the plural. But had you just say Ad Geshem, then even the Chacham would be Maida up until then, because the person's not going to go ahead and leave it open-ended. When he says Geshamim, so therefore he's leaving it open-ended. So that's how we know it. Back in the Gemara now. So I'm Reb Zera, the machloikis between the Tanakama that you need mamish rain and the Kohen of Shimon Gamliel just up in time, Dama Agar Shamim. Aval Ama Ad Geshem, Ad Zman Geshamim, the Tanakama would be Maida, because the MS, a person is not nichnas to a suffix, and therefore what? Since it's open-ended Geshamim, how long it could be, he's not going to go ahead and say that what? He's usher on wine until that time. Amid Aleph, Mesave, we're going to ask on that. Eza Zman Shel Revia, but we again, it's third, guys. It's thirds, right? So Habachira, the first Habachira, Begimel on the third day of Mar Cheshvan. Beinanis B'Shiva is in the seventh day about Mar Cheshvan. Afela, the latter, is Be'esim B'Shloisha. It's in 23. Divrei Reb Meir. So he has 3-7-23. Right. Ruth Mantle. Yeah. Michael Jordan. Rabbi Yehuda says B'Shiva U'B'Shiva Asa 17. Be'esim B'Shloisha 7, 17, and 23. Rabbi Yossi Omer B'Shiva Asar Ube'esim B'Shiva 1. Omer B'Shiva Asa Ube'esim U'Shleisha. So 17. Ube'esim U'Shleisha 23. Ube'Chodesh Kislev. Now notice the one that's closest in proximity is Rabbi Yossi. Guys, you're going from 17 till 23 is 6 days. Ube'Chodesh is what, 7 days. So now the Chena Rabbi Yossi Omer Eina Yechidim Misanim. In Hilchos Tainus, the Yechidim, the people of Yechidim, don't begin to fast. Ashigir Chodesh Kislev, which is the third Revia, and that's the third Revia. V'amin on Allah. Now this is getting up to a kasha, right? V'amin on Allah. Bishlema Revia Rishoina Lishoel. What's the purpose, guys? What's the purpose of making them into thirds? Revia Rishoina is Lishoel, that we should be asked for rain. The same Talmud Levracha. That's when we start saying the same Talmud Levracha. Shlish is the third one. This is Anois. That what if it doesn't rain by then, will be kaveh tanesim. El shniya lemai. Vom Reb Zera, you know what it's for? L'neider. It's for Agamar Hasugya. That if a person goes ahead and makes a neder that actually gives geshamim, what does it mean up until what? The second one. V'amin Allah kiman as lahadatanya. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer geshamim sheyardu shiva yamim ze'achazeh. If you have 7 days of rain, atamayna behen revia rishoyna shniya. You can count the second and first and second. Kiman to Rabbi Yossi. Guys, Rabbi Yossi is the only one who doesn't have a discrepancy of more than 7 days, because he says the first one is 17 and the next one's 23. All the other ones had 7 and 17, which was a 10-day discrepancy, and Rabbi Yehuda had 17 and Rabbi Yehuda had 7 and 17, which is a 10-day discrepancy. The only one who didn't have a discrepancy of less than 7 days was Rabbi Yossi. Right now, what's the bottom line? What's the kasha? What's the kasha? So let's look at the Ran. The Ran, guys, I'll tell you where it is. It's the Ran di Marmasel Kiman Ozla de Tanya, and with the medium wide lines it says V'ksal Kedaitach. Right, the medium wide lines, the fourth line down. V'ksal Kedaitach the benoider ara geshamim maskin, and it's speaking where what you made the neder up until geshamim. You didn't ara geshem. You said geshem, which is what Rabbi Zera said. The hachi avi uchayu the inshi, because that's the norm. The misal of the Rebbe Zera that there's no machlokes. The Amar the Ba'ara Geshem Kula Moided Achigiyas Man Kamar, that even the Tanakam is Moided, you don't need mamish rain. Ara Geshem means up until the time it could rain. Heichi Amal Hu Reb Shimon Gamliel Oidla Lumias be Moided me nonetheless. What do you mean be Moided me? Umar Yeri Yardu I feel Yardu Klal, even if it doesn't come down at all right. Kivin the Nodar Ara Geshem Amar since you said Ara Geshem. Right? So it's yes and kash like this. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says we don't have the girsa of oidel mihas, but it says that Rav Shimon Gamliel says that to the Chachamim, he says in the Brisa, Geshamim Shiadu Shiva Yamim Zachaseh, you count them as 7 days. Now, it seems to me he's telling them, right? If it rains, you should count it as 7 days. You count each one. Now, if it's set out of Geshem, why do you care if it rains or not? It should be you have to reach the time. You don't need mamish to rain. You just have to reach the time of rain. You don't need mamish rain. So I don't know. He doesn't say the lashon. I didn't find the lashon of him saying being moida. So again, what's the kasha? If you said the lashon ara geshem, yes, guys, you said you don't need it to mamish rain. You just need up until it rains. Good. So why is the Shimon telling the Chachamim that be moided to me, meaning that the Chachamim would say you still need rain, right? In other words, Rav Shimon says you never need rain, you just need the sman. So Rav Shimon presents a case to the Chachamim and says, in that case, be moided to me that you don't need rain. And that case is speaking, we said the lashon in the Havamina Ara Geshem. So how can your Reb say that the Tanakama is moida by Ara Geshem, that you don't need rain, you don't need mamish rain? You see from the words of Shimon Gamliel that you do need rain, even when you use the lashon Ara Geshem. That's the kasha on Rabbi. It's Ikka Chasim and a Sefer, the Gemara. I don't see the words in the Gemara. Anyway, what's the answer? It's not speaking when you say Ara Geshem. You said Ara Geshem. No, you said Ara Geshem. It would be what? It would be up until, and you don't need a rain. But here he said it's speaking Ara Geshem. Continuing along the lines. Koinim Yayin Shani Toyim Lishona says, I won't taste wine for a year. Wine for a year is a carbon to me. This Arba Hashana, if it's a leap year, like you have two others. Asa ba ubi ibura. You'll be asa for 13 months. You'll be asa the whole year. That's if you said lashon, right? Lashana. Ad roish adar. If you said lashon ad roish adar rishon. He meant adar rishon. At soif adar. Now we have two gersas over here. We have a gersa rishon and we have a gersa sheni. We have a gersa rishon and we have a gersa sheni. Okay, now what exactly, guys, what lashon did he use by shana or hashana? What lashon did he use? Let's see the Ran. Says the Ran by the Mishnah. Koinim yain shani toyim l'shana v'sarba shana asa by bibura. Kfar kasafti l'may. I already wrote above the ikar of Husa the Tana that filu noidim etchilas hashana. Even if you're going to make a ned at the beginning of the year, even the Oma hashana, since you said the year, lo yamrin on shana achas come out. We don't see it means one complete year. El asa by bibura the hainu yugim l'chaydesh. The chiddush is, in other words, guys, Hashana means the year. How much months in a year? 12. You don't say that. It's also 13. Miudafke ba'oma Hashana. Inami shana zu. Avo ba'oma shana achas. 1 year. Stam. Ein chodesh she'iba bechlal. Afa pi she'oisa shana shenada b'mberes. It says, he's quoting the Rashba. I think he disagrees. But l'chayra, the Rashba says, if you would say shana achas 1 year, what do you mean? A normal year. Hashana this year, the year, Shana Zu this year, 13 months. Shana Achas 1 year, 12 months. Good. Says the Gemara. Alma stamat the Ada kama rishadu. We see from a Mishnah, a person says the beginning of Ada means Ada Rishon. Let's say our Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda Tanya. When you're writing a star, Ada Rishon Kaisev, Ada Rishon, Ada Sheni Kaisev, Ada Stam. Reb Meya. If you don't know Ada Rishon Kaisev Stam, Ada Sheni Kaisev, right? So in other words, Reb Meya is of the opinion that Stam is Ada Sheni. Yehuda is of the opinion Stam Ada is Ada Rishon. Rabbi, I feel time Reb Meya. You can even say Reb Meya. The Yada the Abishasa, Hoy the Lo Yada with that Miss Abishasa. Right? If you knew that it was an Ibiyar, then you're also for Ibiyar. If you didn't know, then it's only a month. But Tanya, and this is a raya, guys. This Tanya is a proof. It says a person makes a neder, ad rosh chodesh adar means ad rosh chodesh adar rishon. In hoysa shana muberes, ad rosh chodesh adar sheni. Mechal dereisha labu muberes askinan. Mashma dereisha is not speaking about where it's a nibiyah. Shmamino right the pshitale the ma'abishasa One where what when you did know, when you didn't know, where you did know, it doesn't include it. Where you did know, then of course it's included. Okay, the rest of the Gemara is a Mishnah. The rest of the Gemara, guys, is a Mishnah to the end of the parak. We had a good portion of this Mishnah. We had in the parak of, you remember the four Nedarim, Nidre Sheka, Nidre Havai, right? Nidre Einsin. Right? We had different. The fourth one I'm forgetting off the top of my head. The fourth parak. Okay, in the fifth parak. Nidre Shkagos, right? That was the other one. Nidre Shkagos. Okay, so now, this is a Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Koinim yayin sheni toyim at Pesach, right? What does he mean, guys? Until Pesach. What does he mean? What? The end of Pesach. Len niskaven zeh ela ad leil Pesach, right? At shosh shederach miyad l'shus yayin. You know what he means up to? Up until the time where he has to be Yitzis mitzvah of abrakosis. That's what he means. Again, by Nedarim, we go after Lashon B'nai Adam. What was his kivun? What was his mindset? He's only going to ask himself up to where it's not a mitzvah. Once it's a mitzvah, I feel a mitzvah the Rabban, like the abrakosis, he does not have that in mind. I'm a koinim basa sheni toy. I'm not going to eat what? I'm not going to eat meat. Actually, at soim until the fast. You know, iser el adlel soim. It means up until the sudam of sekes, guys, of Erev Yom Kippur. There's a mitzvah, the Raisa l'chayra, according to one opinion, to eat Erev Yom Kippur, right? So up until the tzoim means they're not including the tzoim, but it means even before the tzoim. It means what? Because he's not going to, I won't eat meat until I have to start fasting, right? No, it means what? Until the Sudam of Sekes. Rabbi Yossi, his son, says, in the name of Rabbi Yehuda, I'm not going to eat any shum. I'm not going to eat any garlic. Shabbos. It means until Friday night. One of the takanas, guys, of Ezra was to eat garlic Friday night. It seems to be good for procreation. So, according to, there's two drachim over here that Rabbi Yehuda would agree with his son, or he would disagree. He only said the din by a din that's a mitzvah, like the mitzvah of arbakaisis, like the mitzvah of eating Erev Yom Kippur. But a takana of Ezra, which is not a mitzvah, that is not, that he means not to eat garlic, period. So it could be, there's two ways to learn. He either agrees or he disagrees.
You mean can't eat garlic anymore?
He wouldn't be able to eat garlic, right? Person says that, well, you can't have enough. I can't have enough from you. Unless you come and take for your son a kur echad of chitim, a measurement of chitim, which they chavia shalem 2 barrels of wine. He wants to give him a present so badly. He's telling you, I won't have enough from you unless you take a present. How do you say yachal lahafes nidrei? This is guys. This is nidrei havai. Now, he doesn't mean the neder. This is a neder to go ahead and incentivize the person to go ahead and take his gift. So therefore, he makes a neder. So therefore, he doesn't have to be made for it. You only said my kavod to give me the gift. So kavodi, not to take the gift. I want to be I want to have my own. I don't want to be a taker. So it's more kavod experience. You don't need afara. Again, this is nidrei avoy. We had this in the third parak of Amasechta. The koinim shat nenes li says lashim that koinim you won't have enough for me. Here you have to come and give to my son. Be usher until you actually give it. How many kilo niskabalti? A view is of what I was niskabel already. We said the Gemara in Yevamis is a mitzvah to marry off your niece, your sister's kid, your sister's daughter. So he's Messiah to marry her. I won't have any. She can't have any enough from me. He's divorcing his wife. The only in the anah they have is what the anah of ishus. He wants his friend to eat by him. I'm not coming in. Keep it silent. I'm not using anything. Muttali konas the base and the lishtais can go in and drink and eat a little bit. Remember sign and watch. The whole reason he was not to eat a big meal, but he's such a small meal that would be permitted. He wouldn't even eat afara because this is only nidrei havai. Hajjalach Konim Yayin.